तस्याजने दक्षिणं चोत्तरं च तद्देहवैतदिष्टापूर्ते कृतमित्युपासते। ते चान्द्रमसमेव लोकमभिजयन्ते स एव पुनरावर्तन्ते। तस्मादेतर्षयः प्रजाकामाः दक्षिणं प्रतिपद्यन्ते। एषः वै रयिर्यः पितृयाणः talking about Srishti, the teacher Pippalada had talked about the Mithuna Srishti in the beginning, in the form of Rayihi and Prana. And we saw that Rayi and Prana are not exact things, but they are conceptual, the mutually complementary pairs. And of this, the first pair of creation is the Loka, the moon and the sun. Therefore, from Mithuna Srishti, Pippalada came to Loka Srishti. And the moon stands for Rayi, and the sun stands for Prana, and both of them together make a whole. Therefore, they are a complementary pair. And incidentally, you should remember, the moon is known as Pitruloka or Swargaloka in our scriptures. And Surya, the sun, represents Aditya Loka, otherwise Brahma Loka. And after Loka Srishti, now Pippalada has come down to Kala Srishti. And the highest Kala is the Samvatsaraha, which alone is later divided into Ritu, Masa, Paksha, Divasa. So thus Pippalada says, Samvatsara is Prajapati. Because you should remember that Prajapati alone is coming in the form of complementary pairs. Therefore, both of them are expressions of one and the same Prajapati alone. Therefore, Prajapati was in the form of Rayi Prana. Prajapati was in the form of Surya Chandra, and Prajapati is in the form of Samvatsara, consisting of Dakshinayanam and Uttarayanam. Of these two Ayanams, Ayanam, I told you in the last class, Ayanam is the northern solstice. In English they call it solstice, which indicates the moon's travel into northern and southern direction. So when the moon travels from north to south, from northern extreme to southern extreme, not from center, from northern extreme to southern extreme, it is called Dakshinayanam, which comes during July middle. And when sun moves from the southern extreme to northern extreme, which is in the middle of January, that is the Pongal day. From that day onwards, it is Uttarayanam. Thai pirandal vazhi pirakkum. Because Uttarayanam is supposed to be good. So therefore, Samvatsaro vai Prajapatihi tasya ayane dakshinancha uttarancha. Of which Dakshinayanam is Rai, Uttarayanam is Pranaha. Now with this, the Kala Srishti or Samvatsara Srishti is over. But before going further, here also we are getting a small diversion. After each Srishti, a small diversion is there. And what is the diversion here? Which I had talked in the last class, but since there had been a gap, I would like to remind that here the Krishna Gati and Shukla Gati are talked about. These two are subtle paths, not roads as we see here, but they are subtle roads, divine roads, through which a jiva travels to reach Chandraloka or Pitruloka and Suryaloka or Brahmaloka. So Krishna Gati leads to Chandraloka and Shukla Gati leads to Suryaloka. That is why Krishna Gati also will come under Rai. Chandraloka also comes under Rai. Shukla Gati comes under Prana. Suryaloka also comes under Prana. So Shukla Gati leads to Suryaloka and Krishna Gati leads to Chandraloka. And Krishna Gati is otherwise known as what? Pitriyana. Therefore Pitriyana leads to Chandraloka. Devayana, Shukla Gati is otherwise known as Devayana. Only very many names. Things are only few. So Shukla Gati or Devayana leads to Suryaloka or Brahmaloka. Okay. Which people will take to Krishna Gati? Is it open to all or special entry tickets are there? 25 rupee, 100 rupee. Yes, here also tickets are there. Who will get Krishna Gati? Those people who perform a ritual, good karmas. So therefore, karminaha Krishna Gati dvara Chandralokam prapnuvanti. Karminaha Krishna Gati dvara Chandralokam prapnuvanti. Okay. Then who will go to Shukla Gati? They are Upasaka. Therefore, Upasakaha Shukla Gati dvara Suryalokam prapnuvanti. Thus, Karmis and Upasakas are two types of people. Krishna Gati and Shukla Gati are two types of Margas. Chandraloka and Suryaloka are two types of destinations. Thus, two people, two Margas and two destinations. What about Jnanis? Jnani neither goes through Krishna Gati, nor does he go through Shukla Gati. Jnani attain oneness with Brahman here and now. Therefore, there is no question of travel for him. Therefore, we are still in Aparavidya topic alone. We have not come to Paravidya. Because wherever Gati comes, wherever Karma Upasana topic comes, they are all within the world alone. Only when Jnanam topic comes, we are coming to Paravidya. And that is being pointed out here in this mantra. Tad yehavai ishtapurte upasate. Those people who pursue, upasate means here not upasana. In this context, upasate means karoti, because it is ritual. So those people who perform upasate, karoti, anutishtati, acharati, perform what? Ishtapurte. The types of activities known as ishtam, purtam, etc. Iti irukku. Iti means ityadi. Ityadi upasate. The word ishtam and purtam has already come in Mundakopanishad. Ishta purtam manyamana varishtam nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha nakasya pristhete sukrutenu bhutva imam lokam heenataram va vishanti. In the Mundakopanishad it came. So there I had said, but I will remind you, Ishtam means a ritual, a religious activity. It is defined as Agnihotram, Tapas Satyam, Vedanam cha Anupalanam, Atithyam, Vaishwadevascha, Ishtamityabhidhiyate. Idella varum. Agnihotram, Tapaha, Satyam, following truthfulness. Vedanam cha Anupalanam, Vedadhyanam. Atithyam, honoring the Atithi, guest. Vaishwadevascha. Vaishwadeva is another ritual. All these things are called Ishtam iti abhidhiyate. Ishtam means not that which is desired. Ishtam is derived from the root yaj. Yaj ishtam. These are all called ishtam karma. We can say Vaidika karma, religious actions, ritualistic action. Whereas Purtam is said to be more of social service nature, good for the society. It is defined as Vapi Kupa Tadagati Devatayatanani cha Annapradhanam Aramaha Purtam ityabhidhiyate. Digging wells, tanks, water varumo varado. Anyway, digging wells, tanks, lakes, etc. for the public's benefits, building temples for their worship, Devata Ayatanani cha, abodes for the Devatas. What is that? Temple. Annapradhanam. Therefore, distribution of annam, poor feeding, they all have been prescribed in the Shastras, remember. And Aramaha, building satrams or guest houses where the pilgrims can stay. Chowtries, where pilgrims can stay free of cost and where they will get food also. And doing all these things come under Purtam and etc. Adi irukku. And for that we have to supply one more. Dattam is another type of activity. Dattam means Sharanagata Samtranam, Bhutanam Chapi Ahimsanam, Bahirvedicha Yad Danam Dattamityabhidhiyate. Sharanagata Santranam. When anybody comes to you for protection, they don't have enough money, they don't have shelter, and you help him out by giving money or putting in an orphanage or something, that is all Sharanagata Rakshanam. Bhutanam chapi ahimsanam. And leading a life in which I won't harm anyone. Observing the values. And bahirvedicha yaddanam. Giving money to people outside Yajnashala. Because if you give money within Yajnashala, it will not be called Dhanam, it will come under Dakshina. Only when it is outside the Yajnashala, you just give. Not for any particular reason, you give charity, it becomes Dhanam. The Bahir Vedi. Vedi means Yajna ground. They are all called Dattam. These are all various good activities prescribed in our Shastras, Ishta, Purtam and Dattam. And Ye Upasate. Whoever follows all these good activities. Upasate, plural. Upaste, upasate, upasate. For them, what is the phalam? Te chandramasam eva lokam abhijayante. As a result of these good karmas, they go to chandramasam lokam. The Chandra Loka, otherwise known as Pitru Loka, otherwise known as Swarga Loka. Okay, one word is there in between. Kritam Upasate is there. Kritam means karma. So they are performing Ishta Purtadi karma alone. So why the Upanishad is emphasizing that Kritam eva upasate? It is to indicate that they have not attained Jnanam or Moksha. Because Jnanam or Moksha doesn't come under karma. Because in the Mundaka it has been said, Nasti akritaha kritena. And the krita inge nyabam vettikanam. Where it comes, Pariksha Lokan 1 to 12. Okay, Mundaka Upanishad. Pariksha Lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat nasti akrita kritena. Therefore, Ishtam is a karma alone, Purtam is a karma alone, Dattam is a karma alone, whereas Moksha is different from all these. Therefore, they will get Swargaloka, but Akritaha Mokshaha Taihi na labhyate. Moksham kadakyadu solli chinnada bracket la eludra. Like smoking is injurious to health. Perisha another eludva, every puff is a promise. That is bigly written. And quietly they write that smoking is injurious. Like that, te chandramasameva lokam abhijayante perisha. Quietly he is hinting, kritam eva. It is after all done, and therefore it will be done away with. How do you know that? Read the next line. Te eva punaravartante. Kritatva te punaravartante eva. Eva thiripi potukanam. Te punaravartante eva. They will definitely, necessarily, when the visa is expired, punaravartante. That is what he said in Mundaka. Nakasya pristhete sukrute anubhutva imam lokam heenataram va vishanti. Just Pariksha Lokanukku rendu slogam innala. 1 to 10 or something for your reference. because this is supposed to be a commentary upon Mundaka Upanishad, I have told you in introduction. Okay. And who are going to attain this loka? That is said here. Tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. Yete rishayaha prajakamaha dakshinam pratipadyante. Here the word rishayaha means grihastha, karminaha, which is a rare usage. Grihasthalaye rishi kupra. Urkaavad sandoshama irukattume avasali. So let us be happy. All the time rishi has been used for someone else. So therefore let them be happy at least once in a while. So rishayaha means here karminaha. And Shankaracharya justifies that name. See, literally rishi means what? Rishati janati iti rishihi. Those who know is a rishi. And all jnanis are called rishis because they know Param Brahma. Param Brahma rishati iti rishihi jnani ityarthaha. Now Shankaracharya says, Grihasthas are also rishi because they also know. But what they know alone is different. Therefore Shankaracharya says, Swargam rishati janati iti rishihi. Not Param Brahma, but they know what is Swargaloka, and they know what is the path to Swargaloka, and they know the necessary rituals to be performed. And therefore, they also can be called rishihi. Enna tappu? So, Swarga drashtaraha rishayaha. And how do you know they are grihasthas only? How do you differentiate? Na? Adukku adjective irukku paaruங்க. Praja kamaha. Those who are interested in praja. Praja means children. And from this alone we get the idea that it is grihasthaha rishayaha. Otherwise sannyasi rishayaha praja kamaha na eppadi varum? It will not work, isn't it? Therefore the word praja kamaha helps us in understanding the word rishihi. Praja kamatvam grihasteshu eva sambhavati. So these people, praja kamaha rishayaha dakshinam pratipadyante. They go to the Krishna Gati. Here dakshinam represents the Krishna Gati. I have already told Dakshinayanam represents Krishna Gati. Therefore they go through Dakshinam, Krishna Gati. And through Krishna Gati they go to Chandraloka. Thus Prajakamaha Karminaha Krishna Gatim Pratipadyante Tadvara Chandralokancha Pratipadyante. Okay. Another point also we will discuss. This is based on what we have studied before. I said Dakshinayanam represents Krishna Gati. Why Dakshinayanam represents Krishna Gati? That we didn't ask and answer. We took for granted. Dakshinayanam represents Krishna Gati. Uttarayanam represents Shukla Gati. On what basis? It is, if you remember the 8th chapter of Gita, Agnir Jyotiraha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidojanaha Dhumo Ratristatha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotihi Yogi Prapya Nivartate. So the Dakshinayana Marga is presided over by, or Krishna Gati is presided over by various devatas, and those devatas are known as Dakshinayana Devata, Shukla Paksha Devata, Agni Devata, etc. It was said in the 8th chapter. The Krishna Gati is presided. Krishna Gati is presided over by Dakshinayana Devata, Krishna Paksha Devata, Dumo Ratrihi Tata Krishna Paksha Devata, and Ratri Devata, etc. preside over Krishna Gati. Similarly, Shukla Gati is presided over by Uttarayana Devata, Shukla Paksha Devata, and Ahar Devata, etc. If you remember, fine. Illayana pottam. So you remember only this much, that Dakshinayanam represents Krishna Gati. That's the main point. And Uttarayanam represents Shukla Gati. So Karminaha Dakshinam Pratipadyante, Dakshina Upalakshita Krishna Gatim, and Tadvara Chandram Cha Pratipadyante. And Yeshaha vai Rajihi Yaha Pitriyana. So this Pitriyana Marga, that is this Krishna Gati, also is known as Rajihi. So three things are called Raji. What are they? Dakshina Ayanam is called Raji, and the Krishna Gati, which is indicated by Dakshinayanam, Dakshinayana Upalakshita Krishna Gatihi, that is also called Rajihi. And through that Krishna Gati, this Chandraloka is reached. Chandraloka also is called Rajihi. So Chandraloka, Krishna Gati, Dakshinayanam, all the three are called Raji, and correspondingly Suryaloka, Shukla Gati, and Uttarayanam, all the three are called Prana. Esaha vai Rayir Yaha Pitriyana. Okay. Now we have to go to what? Uttarayanam, Dakshinayanam patti solliyache. Now Shukla Gati has to come. That is coming in the next mantra. Athottarena tapasa brahmacharyena Shraddhaya vidyaya Atmanam anvishya Adityam abhijayante Etadvai prananam ayatanam Etad amritam abhayam Etad parajanam Ityesha nirodhaha Tadesha shlokaha. So in this shloka, the Shukla Gati is pointed out, and the destination is pointed out, that is Aditya Loka or Brahma Loka or Satya Loka, all are same. Aditya Loka, Brahma Loka, Satya Loka. That is the destination. Shukla Gati is the path. Another word for Shukla Gati is what? Devayanaha is the path. And who are the travelers? The travelers are Upasaka. Or we can even say Karma Upasana Samuchaya. Those who do Upasana along with Karma, those people will attain this Gati. So, Asa Uttarena. So, here Uttara represents what? Uttara means Uttarayanam. And Uttarayanam represents what gati? Shukla gati. Therefore, Uttarena means Uttarayana upalakshita Shukla gati dvarena. Avvalavu iluthundu ponam. Uttaram sonna Uttarayanam potte Uttarayanathilendhu Shukla gatikku varanam. So Uttarena Uttarayana upalakshita Shukla gati dvarena. What loka they attain? Adityam abhidayante. These upasakas attain Aditya loka, otherwise known as Brahma loka. Okay. And for this, what all sadhanas they do? They are enumerated. Tapasa, Brahmacharyena, Shraddhaya, Vidyaya. So if you remember the Mundaka Upanishad, the corresponding sloka was 1 to 11. Tapashraddheye hyupavasantyaranye shanta vidvamso bhaikshacharyam charantaha suryadvarena te viraja prayanti yatramritasya purusho hyavyayatma. And thereafterwards pariksha lokan comes. So the same pattern is used here also. You know the meaning of all these words. Tapas means discipline, austerities. Then Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam also we have seen before. Discipline, control of all the organs. The vratam of a student. Brahmacharinaha vratam brahmacharyam. Then Shraddhaya. With Shraddha. Shraddha means faith in the scripture. Shraddhaya. And Vidyaya. Here Vidya means what? Upasana. Not Atmajnanam. Thus, by following Upasana along with all the disciplines. Upasana is the main job. Tapas, Brahmacharyam, etc. are the supporting discipline. Both must go together. Upasana minus discipline is useless. Discipline minus Upasana also will not give the benefit. Both of them should go together. By this, what do they seek? Atmanam Anvishya. Here Atma represents the Suryaha or the Surya Devata. So here Atma is not Satchidananda Atma, not Nirguna Atma, because here the topic is what? Upasana topic, and Gati topic is there. Therefore we should not take the Mukhya Atma. Here it is Suryaha. How can you call Suryaha as the Atma? Care of Sandhya Vandana Mantram. Surya Atma Jagatas Tatsushascha Tatchakshur Devahitam Purasta Chukramucharat. So Surya is glorified as the very Atma of all the beings. Atma means what? The essence. Because Surya's energy alone is giving life to anyone. Without Surya Tattvam, no living being can be there. And therefore we can say Surya is the very essence, the very prana of all beings. And therefore Surya is called Atma. Surya means Surya Devata or Hiranyagarbha Devata. Because Surya Loka is Brahma Loka. Therefore Surya Devata means Brahmaji or Hiranyagarbha, all are identical. Surya Devata, Hiranyagarbha Devata, Brahmaji, all the three are identical in this context. Anvishya. Anvishya means seeking that Devata. Those people who follow all these, Adityam Abhijayante, they attain Surya Loka or Brahma Loka or Hiranyagarbha Loka, because that is what he meditated upon. And this Aditya Loka alone is the highest Loka is being mentioned here. Because of all the 14 lokas, the highest loka is Brahma loka, and therefore that is glorified here. Etadvai prananam ayatanam. This alone is the ultimate abode, ashrayam, for all the pranas. Here prana means pranis. For all the living beings, the ultimate ashrayam is this Surya Devata or Surya Loka alone. Apnoti swara adyam, apnoti manasaspatim, vakpatischakshushpatihi, shrotrapatir vijnanapatihi, etattato bhavati. Inga. So Shikshavalli, the very same Brahma Loka is described here. He becomes Vakpati, Chakshushpati, Shrotrapati, Vijnanapati, etc. That means he alone becomes the Lord of all living beings. And that is what is said here, Prananam Ayatanam. And Etad Amrutam. This is the world of immortality. And Abhayam. And this is the world of fearlessness. Now what do we mean by that? This is the world of immortality, the world of fearlessness, can be interpreted in two ways. Really speaking, Brahmaloka is not the world of immortality. Why? Because Brahmaloka is also finite in nature. Brahmaloka also will be destroyed at the time of Pralaya. And therefore, it cannot be literally immortal. Therefore, here immortality means what? Relative immortality. Apekshika amrutatvam, natu mukhyam amrutatvam. So, compared to human life, Brahmaloka is eternity. Nammale solluvome, I have been waiting for eternity. Thanni varave maatengirudhu. So eternity means not that eternity, for long time nartham. Similarly, Abhayam also is not absolute fearlessness. Compared to other lokas, Brahmaloka is apekshika abhayatvam. This is one interpretation. Otherwise, we can interpret in a different manner also. See, the one who has gone to Brahmaloka, he is sooner or later going to become Jnani. Because we have seen before that there also classes will be going on. And who will be conducting the classes? Brahmaji himself. So, Brahmana upadishtaha santaha te sarve api jnanam prapnuvanti. Because Brahma is such an efficacious teacher. In the case of me, I might not be able to teach well and give knowledge to all. But in the case of Brahmaji, he will be able to give. And not only that, those who have gone to Brahmaloka level will have very subtle equipment, therefore they are fitter than human beings. So students also fitter students, and teacher also better teacher, and therefore invariably they all get Atma Jnanam and attain Mukti, which is known as Enna Mukti? Krama Mukti. As Chollalayala Akramama Rakam. And therefore, Brahmaloka is said to be immortality because Brahmaloka will give him the Mukti, which is real immortality. Therefore, since it is a means to Amritam, and since it is a means to Abhayam, and therefore it is said as Abhayam and Amritam. So, Mukhya Amrita Sadhanatvat Amritam. Similarly, Mukhya Abhaya Sadhanatvad Abhayam. That is one interpretation. Or the other one is apekshikam amritam, apekshikam abhayam. In short, the idea is, in the relative world, the greatest achievement possible is Brahmaloka. So, etat parayanam, and therefore this alone is the ultimate abode or ultimate goal also. So Shankaracharya gives abode only, ashrayam only. So previously also prananam ayatanam it was said. There also it was said to be the basis of prana. The difference is, previously we said prananam ayatanam. There it is the ashraya for all living beings. Here it is parayanam, the ashraya for all inert things also. Thus this is an ashrayam for characharam sarvam. Thus Brahmaloka is the highest loka, and upasakas through Shuklagati will attain this Brahmaloka. That is the essence. And incidentally, a small note is added here, Yeshaha Nirodha. This is prohibited to the karmis. So this loka, which is meant for upasakas alone, this loka is not available for the other people. This is a taboo to the karmis. So therefore there will be ticket examiners will be there. If you buy second class ticket and go to first class, they will ask you to shift. In the same way here also, vidvamsaha eva shuklagatim prapnuvanti na avidvamsaha. Therefore you have to supply avidisham nirodha or anupasakanam nirodha. Upasakal allathavalukku nirodha. This is prohibited. Door will automatically get closed. And now Sadesha Shlokaha is an introduction to a quotation from Rigveda, which is going to be the next shloka. So here Pippalada is going to quote a Rig mantra in support of what? In support of the superiority of the Surya Loka or Aditya. In support of the greatness of Aditya. In support of the greatness of the destination. So tad eshaha. Tad means what? Tasmin arthe. Etasmin arthe. Suryasya mahima vishaye. Eshaha shlokaha. Shlokaha means Rig mantraha vartate. What is the Rig mantra? We will read. Panchapadam pitaram dvadashakritim Diva ahuh pare ardhe purishinam Athe me anya upare Vichakshanam Sapta chakre shadara ahuhu Arpitamiti. So Surya Stuti is done in this shloka. The glorification of the Surya, which is the destination of Shuklagati. Okay, what is the Surya? All mysterious words are used. Shankaracharya irukaro, we are able to get something out of it. Otherwise this will be just like Greek and Latin. Because mere knowledge of Sanskrit language will not help. Because every word is with implied meaning alone. So what is Suryaha? Panchapadam. It is endowed with 5 feet. Surya ketra kalu? 5 kalu. What do you mean by that 5 feet? So Shankaracharya gives the 5 seasons. The 5 seasons are taken as the feet of Surya Loka. Because the Surya moves creating the 5 seasons. Surya moves through the 5 seasons, creating the 5 seasons. Therefore, Surya is called Panchapadam. That's why in the Aditya Hridayam, one of the name of Surya is Rutukarta Prabhakaraha. Rutukarta, Rutum or Rutun Karoti iti Rutukarta. And here the 5 seasons represent 6 seasons. Really speaking, the seasons are supposed to be 6 in number. Especially according to Indian scriptures, we talk of 6 seasons. English le 4 dhaan solva. What are the 6 seasons? They are Vasantaha. Vasantaha means spring. Grishmam, summer. Varshaha, rains. Sharad, autumn. Hemantaha, pre-winter. And Shishiraha, the winter. So Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemanta, Shishiraha. Spring, summer, rains, autumn, pre-winter and winter. Here, pre-winter and winter has been joined together as one season. That is November, December, January, February. Madras le think pannadinga. Madras le kadave kedayadhu. Therefore, 4 months of Hemanta Shishirau eki kritya eka rututvena svikaraha. Therefore, taking Hemanta and Shishira as one rutu and the other 4 ritus put together Panchartavaha. Panchartavaha. Sandhi Chedna. So these 5 ritus are like the padas for the sun because it moves through ritus. And Dvadasha Akritihi. It has got 12 forms or manifestation. We can guess according to the 12 months of the year. Because in each month the position of the sun will be changing because of the Uttarayana Dakshinayana movement. The sun's appearance itself. During the peak time, you will find that in the early sun itself will look like bright one. And at other seasons, the early sun will look only reddish. Thus you can find the rising sun itself will have 12 different appearances according to its position. And therefore, Dvadasha Akritayaha Yasya Saha Dvadasha Akritihi Tam. And it is Pitaram. In fact, it is the father of all the beings. Because the sun alone gives the energy, the life to all people directly. And indirectly also, sun gives life to the plant kingdom. And only if the plant kingdom is there, we can survive. Thus, Gam Avishyata Bhutani Dharayamyaham Ojasa Pushnami Taushadi. Adu andana, okay? Gam Avishyata Bhutani Dharayamyaham Ojasa. In the 15th chapter of Gita. I enter the earth and gives Ojas Shakti. Ojosi, Sahosi, Balamasi, Bhrajosi. Okay, right. So, Pitaram. So he is the father of all living beings because he sustains all. Pita ங்கிறதுக்கு என்ன derivation? Pati iti pita. Pati means what? Palayati. Mother na eppadi vandhudu? Mati iti mata. The one who measures, alandhudan kulandhukku saadam poduvanga. So even if the child wants to eat a little bit more, poram enough. So therefore the one who gives everything in a measured manner with love and care is mother. Mati iti mata. Of course that is incidental, inge idu vanda. Pati iti pita. Therefore pitaram. More we will see in the next class. Hari.